Hey, how you guys doing? This is Matt Balducci and welcome to my book review channel. I'm super excited for you guys to tune in this week. I'm covering the book Rich 20-somethings by Daniel DiPiazza. If you don't know who that is, Google him. He actually has a YouTube channel called Rich 20-somethings. And honestly, this was a surprise pickup for me. I was actually reading a different book and I just Googled top self-development books for millennials. And this popped up and I was like, well, let me take a peek at it. And I took a ton from this book. It's a super easy read. And again, if you're out there and you're trying to create a business and you're young, this book's for you, okay? The title, obviously, Rich 20-somethings, that obviously makes people buy more books and all that stuff. And it's a good, I guess, marketing tool for Daniel. But what I want you guys to take from this YouTube channel that I'm making right here with my book reviews is I want more people to read books. And so hopefully after watching this video, you go pick up, I don't care what book, but this book specifically will help you if you're trying to grow an online business, if you're looking to figure out how to actually have exponential growth when you're in your 20s or even beyond. I'm not 20 anymore. I just turned 30 in October. And so a lot of successful tips in this book, okay? So I'm gonna give you my top 3 takeaways here. So my number 1 takeaway in this book that I loved and I think is just a huge takeaway, and it was an eye-opener, is that a lot of people believe that you have to go from point A to point B to point C to point D and so on. And what Daniel talks about is that, listen, that he learned this from one of his mentors, and I'm happy he shared it, is that when you start anything, you do not have to go through the point A, point B, point C. You can actually go from point A to C. You can go from point A to F, right? And you can skip all the little points in the middle. And a lot of times I think we live in a culture still where people believe you have to pay your dues, and you do not have to pay your dues. And that's one of the takeaways I had from the book that I really liked, because I think that even eye-opened for me, where I assumed when I was starting my high-performance coaching company that I was gonna have to struggle in the beginning, just like every business owner. But instead, why do you have to do that? We have so much technology out there, guys, that you can succeed at as fast as you want, and you can go from point A to C, point A to F, whatever you really want to accomplish. So that's takeaway number 1. So takeaway number 2 is, again, as a high performance coach, I help people with productivity. And one of the biggest things I see a lot of people do is they create these long to-do lists. And what Daniel talks about in his book is that what people should do is, after they make this long to-do list, they should actually just cut it in half. Now, what I recommend doing, and I'll add a little bit of seasoning on top here, is I would prioritize the list and then remove the bottom part of the list that literally isn't a priority at that moment. Because ultimately, when you have this long to-do list and you don't hit it, you feel like you failed for the day. And what you really want to do is have a shorter list that are the top 5 to 10 things you need to do in that day, and that's what you really want to get done. So I want you guys to actually take that from the book as well. Super important for you to understand that you could be more productive by just cutting off the second half of your to-do list. All right, the last one, guys, that I took is that, and I love this analogy, is that bamboo, if you look it up, I never knew this. I actually never thought to look into it. It's actually a plant. It takes up to 5 years for it to even become bamboo. So basically, when you plant the seed, it takes 5 years for it to even come out as bamboo. 5 years. Who the heck's waiting 5 years, right? And I love the mindset of that, is that there is a delayed gratification, guys, when it comes to business and success. And I think our generation, at least the 20-year-olds and up, I think that a lot of the times they're missing that because of how quick we can get information. And again, going back to takeaway number 1, which is you can go from point A to point C, that is great, but it still might take you time to go there, right? Doesn't mean you have to pay your dues, but you have to have that delayed gratification mindset and have that bamboo mindset, which is, I'm gonna plant this and I'm gonna get this awesome thing, which is bamboo, which, if you don't know much about it, you can build crazy things with it, and it's super durable, super strong, but it takes 5 years to make. It doesn't just all of a sudden come out, and that's the goal of business, right? Is to create this just unbelievable strong thing that will last forever, right? And even if it takes 5 years, but it lasts forever, that's way better than building this quick thing that collapses in 2 or 3 years.
So again, guys, that's my takeaway. This is one of my shorter videos, and the reason is this book was very short. It actually only took me about 2 days to read. I listened to it on Audible at 2 times the speed. I was able to actually get it done in I believe it was like 3.5 hours. And so it's worth the read if you are looking to start a business. And again, I commend Daniel. I hope one day I get to meet him, and I thank you for writing this book because it gave me a lot of motivation to write my own book. So I will talk to you guys later. Subscribe below, guys. I hope this helped. And again, pick this book up or another book. Just read. Reading is power. I'll talk to you later.